אישי ראש הממשלה, מר בנימין נתניהו, הגברת שרה נתניהו. Mr. Prime Minister, I was listening very carefully to your very eloquent description about your vision of the future. Let me say one word. When I'm thinking about the past, we were divided. We were divided about the past. The only way to unite is about the future. And I think that's our purpose, to seek union about the right future for Israel. אבל לפני זה, אני רוצה להודות לכל באי הוועידה, לאלפים שבאו בשעריה. אני לא הייתי תמונה כזאת. שלושה ימים ישבו אלפי אנשים בהקשבה דרוכה, ברצון למצות את הטוב והמאוחד מכולנו. מגיע לכם, תודה מקרב לב. אני רוצה להודות לראשי המדינה, למנהיגי הציבור, להוגי הדעות, לאנשי הדת, לאומנים, ליזמים, למדענים. בראש הראשונה, האיש שהיה יושב ראש ועדת ההיגוי וניהל את הוועידה הזו, ידידי ישראל מימון. תודה מקרב לב. ולאבי גיל, שהיה אחראי על התוכן והיוצא מגדר הרגיל. מרתק, מעניין, אינטלקטואלי ומעמיק. אבי, תודה מקרב לב. יחד עם הצוות שאתה הפעלת. לחברי המטה המבצע, לאוניברסיטה העברית, להפקה, לביטחון, לצוותים שעבדו ללא לאות, למתנדבים ולסטודנטים. ישראל יכולה לשאת את עיניה להיות ארץ של מופת. Now I should make some remarks in English. I want to take the only advantage I have upon most of you, and that is my age. I can't think about anything else. What is the advantage? Because I can remember the early days, the early dreams we had had. And I'd like to think, what were the dreams? One was to have Jewish people. There's no sense to have a Jewish state without Jewish people. At that time we were 650,000, and the great dream we had is to become a million people. A million people. Now we're just 8 million, not all of them Jewish, but 6 million are Jewish. The second dream was to cultivate our land with our own hands. We called it Avodah Ivrit. Why? We didn't want to become a colonial power and have natives. He says, we shall do all the physical work ourselves. And first of all, to cultivate the land by our own hands. At that time, we didn't know that you can cultivate the land by your brains, not only by your hands. And that's a great change. We made from agriculture a high-tech. And then we thought we shall have a different way of life. We prayed that we shall overcome the war, the hatred, we shall have peace. Just to give you a good example of what I mean by this dream, there was a meeting between David Ben-Gurion and the Gaulle. Not the same height, but the same greatness. And we were sitting around the table at lunch, and he said, it was a beautiful, shining summer day in Paris, and around the table there were 4 persons. De Gaulle was the president of France, Debré was prime minister, David Ben-Gurion was the prime minister of Israel, and myself. We were in a good mood. And then the Gaulle turned to Ben-Gurion and says, Mr. Prime Minister, there are just 4 of us. We can speak frankly. Tell me, what are your greatest dreams in life? I know you don't have land. Would you like to have a little bit of the Sinai Desert? Would you like to have a little bit of the Moab Mountains? I know you don't have water. Would you like to have a little bit of the Litani River? A little bit of other rivers? Tell me, I shall not tell anybody, just between the two of us. words in many ways. He became red and white, and he says, Mr. President, would you ask me this question 50 years ago? Maybe. I would give you a map about rivers, about mountains, about deserts. But if you ask me, what is my dream today? I'll tell you very frankly, more Jews. The Gaulle was shocked to his bones. More Jews, he said, what for? And then the Gaulle stood up at the garden where Couve d'Aberville, foreign minister, and Guimolet was at that time deputy prime minister. Another one says, Couve and LCC called everybody to come. They came in and says, you know what are the hate hidden dream of the prime minister of Israel? More Jews. And then they go ask him, and where are they going to come from? Shimon says, from everywhere. He says, what do you mean? Everywhere? He says, yes. He says, give me an example. So Shimon says, America. He says, America? They will give up their Cadillacs. That's the French, how they announce Cadillacs. Shimon said, yes. He says, where else? He says, from Russia. He says, will the Communist Party permit them to leave Russia? Really? You are serious? Remember, this was 61. So Benyamin says, I'll tell you something. The communist system, the Bolshevik, is the least intelligent system in the world. But there is one thing about them. They have produced intelligent people. A day will come when the intelligent people will overcome the unintelligent system. And then the Jews will come here. And one couldn't believe to it, you know. I watched Natan Sharansky. He didn't dream that until you come here. And that went going on, and he continued. And he said, where else? Then we were going to get terrible faux pas. He says, from France. He says, what? Somebody leave France because it's a Jew? He says, yes. So give him an example. So he says, Rothschild. Oh, he says, Rothschild is not French, he's Austrian. Oh, okay. Who else? Then he mentioned the name of the founder of Mikveh Israel, who was the Minister of Justice of France. So the girl says, well, he's not a normal person. And then they asked him, so why did you agree to a partition? He said, Benjamin says, you know what? That was the only way to save the people who remained out of the Shoah. That was my priority. I look back, think, my God, that was our great dream. And today, we are far ahead of that dream. And then Benjamin told us, and that's another point that he has in mind, he would like Israel to become an Oxford and a Yavne. Oxford means knowledge. Yavne means values. I would like that Israel to be based on knowledge and on values. At that time, we didn't have an idea that Israel would become a high-tech country. So the army didn't just fight. The army has had to introduce high-tech to Israel. And I think today, you know, this dream is still a call. And I think I would like to see Israel a country of great knowledge and a country of deep values. It goes together, it must come together. And then clearly he said, I would like to see peace with the Arabs. If I would say it in present language, I would say I would like the Palestinian state to become the first Arab state which enjoys democracy and freedom. think they are able to do it. And I think we would like to see them living in peace, in security, in prosperity, like we, like others. The greatest hope for all of us is freedom and bread, dreams and bread for all of us, without exception. In the domain of peace, we have achieved already something. People think that nothing happened. We have peace with Egypt. Not a perfect, maybe peace, but better an imperfect peace than a perfect war. We have peace with Jordan and with trade, for the Jordanians' security and independence and freedom. We are trying very hard to finalize the agreements with the Palestinians, like the Prime Minister. I do believe it's possible. It can be sooner than we think. We have to take the right decisions, and there is no way but to meet in the middle on a common ground. The two parties will do the necessary compromise to achieve the greatest accomplishment that we can, which is to live in peace. Our children, their children, our mothers, their mothers, all of us. And I speak from the depth of my heart. Now then Israel, when I look back again from my old age, did something which is unique. We are the first to show that in order to make food, you need knowledge not less than land and water. Israel is an excellent agriculture, not because we have so much water or so much land, it's because we put in so much soul and knowledge in every flower, in every vegetable, in every fruit. And you know what? It served us tremendously. I'm not talking just about exporting agricultural goods. Israel exports $1 billion of agricultural goods to countries like Russia, France, and England. But if something gave a great name to Israel, is our agriculture. If China is friendly to Israel, if India is friendly to Israel, it is very much because what we have shown can be done in the domain of agriculture. Then, it wasn't our choice, but it was our must. Israel has shown that you can defend your life if you don't make for war a wish, but for war a challenge. In the 63 years of our existence, we have had to go through 7 wars, outnumbered, outgunned. Numerically, we should have lost all of them. In fact, we didn't lose any of them. And I look again around and I see that our security relations with other nations are better than our diplomatic ones. Because people know their enemies in terror, and they see a country defending herself, keeping her values, never trying to become an aggressor, but always showing that you can be a defender. And now I think, so those are 2 unique contributions appreciated by the rest of the world, more than any speeches, more than any public relations. Now I think, what is the third one? And I think what we have to do now is to put in the center of our life health, physical health, intellectual health, moral health. You know, until now, the technology was about our surroundings, how to make a better living, how to have more income, how to improve many of our human conditions, daily conditions. We ignore the one message, and that is the human being himself. We used our human being talents to create better conditions for us, but we ignore the attempt to make ourselves better people. And I do believe that the next 10 years will be